Morning, guys. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training with the rocks. Here we go. We're gonna hit property and run around property right now. Let here and Buddy, I usually let them pair up. Buddy is her son, and Roxy is the mom. She's grandma now. She's got puppies all over the place, and I've retired her. She's not gonna breed anymore after the last time I tried to breed her. She had 2 stillborn puppies in stomach, and that was not worth a lot of money. Went out trying to get an AI and breeding to one of the top dogs in the country at the time, and had 2 stillborn puppies in stomach. Didn't make me a happy camper, but that's part of the game, right? People always think breeding is going to be, oh, you're going to make $1 million. I don't breed dogs for that reason. I breed dogs to be able to play with the puppies, be able to raise and build what I love to do, which is to build the stock and to produce a product that I can be proud of in that regards. So that's kind of what I'm into when I do my thing. But this morning I wanted to do a little yak session. I was hit in the face this morning with Larry Crone's post about his situation with Dante, and he had a lot of people, all of us, jumping on the bandwagon and really feeling for him. I mean, something like that's traumatic as all get out, especially somebody like me or anybody that's heavy into dogs like we are. You have to realize that somebody like me, I eat, breathe, and sleep dogs, and I have since I was 12. And I was thinking about it over the last few days, the end of the year here, as you evaluate the last year and you look at what you're going to do this year, that kind of thing. As I get older, that fire that used to all the time, every year at the end of the year, that's the happiest time. Don't get into Christmas so much. Don't get into New Year's as far as saying Happy New Year's. It's about looking back and setting goals for the new year. As I get older, that fire kind of dwindles a little bit, and I don't have that passion of youth that you have. So I was on the thread with Larry, and Larry was talking about one of the people came at him and was with a negative connotation about the GoFundMe that Oscar set up, and got a feel for him, and you know what's going to happen. People, human nature on the internet, they can be assholes, you know. And anybody that's heavy into dogs like I am, or Oscar, or any of us, we know what it feels like to have your pet injured or die or cancer, the things you got to deal with when you're dealing with the dogs. And it's a part of your life. It's my soul. It's who I am. No matter if a lot of you don't even know who the hell I am, right? You don't know my history. You don't know who I am, and I'm not one of these internet gurus that's on the online with all your heavy popularization. You're popular, right? Well, Larry is, and he wrote a book on the e-collar. He's very popular, and so I made a comment on that thread in regards to going back 30 years when I used to hang around Caesar, and where I first met Caesar Milan. I had been training dogs since I was 12, and I went out professionally and went to the Bay Area to start my career, and lived in the back of a kennel. And for years I have. I care about the dogs so much, evaluating them. That's one of the things Caesar said recently in one of his posts, mentioned me over 20, 30 years. He doesn't. He's moved on in life. We had a falling out many years ago, and he's moved on, and he's who he is. And he was back then, for that matter. So that being the case, I feel that I had a lot to do with who Caesar is, because of the fact that I was around him, and I was already a professional dog trainer and was very good at my craft. Well, pretty good at my craft. I got to learn to be humble, damn it. But it's just something that I know how to do, and I'm pretty proud of. So in that time period when I was around him, I'm always chattering to those that are around me, and I'm always trying to be kind of a mentor figure. It's just who I am, because I was so far ahead of the curve. Back then, there was hardly any dog trainers at all. And I knew what I wanted to do. I jumped on that bandwagon, went to Oakland right at 18, got on a bus straight out of high school. A week later, after I graduated, I was on a bus, Greyhound bus, little white boy going to Oakland, California. And born and raised in a culture of white. To go to an area like Oakland, the culture shock was pretty heavy on me. Right off of San Pablo Avenue, where all the hookers are at, and the bus station and all that, and the pimps. And most of the time over the years I've lived in these kennels, you always end up in those locations, because like where Caesar's place on 163rd, it was in South Central. You can get away with that because nobody's going to complain about your dogs barking. So Caesar had his first facility, and where he built most of his stuff was on 163rd. Now he's got his place up in Ventura, wherever it's at in the back hills back in there. Then he's got his psychology center that he put together. So I would always tell Caesar that when you're starting in the trade, you start climbing that hill, start climbing that ladder, and your aspirations and your dreams and everything else, and you're going after something. In the profession of dog training, we can be very immature. We don't have a professional code of ethics. It's just a lot of human psychology and how we bounce off each other and what we do. And we can be pretty vicious. I mean, that's why I always talk about down in LA and the LA basin and stuff. It's like a snake pit a lot of times, because these guys are just bad mouthing each other, and anytime three dog trainers together, the one walks out of the room, the other two talking about him. That's human nature. We all do it. Nobody's immune to it. Try to keep it down. We try not to, but in a general sense, that's just the nature of the beast. That's our profession. So this person chiming in about Larry's dog and how it wasn't fair that the people that are internet popular and all that and have the large following and stuff, they get a lot more attention than the smaller dog trainers. That's just not fair. I didn't read the comment. I just read Larry's post about it. Saw the name. I could have went back and tried to pursue it, but I don't care. Reality and truth, it's not my first rodeo. I've seen this stuff come and go 1,000 million ways of Sunday, and it's constant. It never stops. It might ebb down and get away. Look what's happening in PSA right now. I don't even know what the particulars are of that situation, but I saw some of the negativity coming from it. People making comments about United States should separate themselves out from underneath the umbrella of PSA, that kind of crap. It's human nature. PSA had nothing to do with it. It's human nature. Now, those people that are upset and getting all upset about whatever happened are basically advocating that PSA should police their sport and take it or leave it. However it pans out, it's still human nature. Somebody took advantage of another woman, or some kind of cat fight, something's going on. You know, who knows what happened. But this stuff is never ending. It's the human factor that you hear me talking about all the time, right? The human factor, right? So that's why I don't do sport, because I learned a long time ago I don't like the human factor. I don't like the competition, the politics, and the bad mouthing and the backstabbing. And I want to train dogs. I want to get together with people that have the equal passion that I do, that want to train dogs. I don't need a total trophy for that. I don't need a title for that. I need to know that I have a good dog. I judge the dog that's in front of me, right? So my reply to that, when Larry made the mention of this negativity coming back from some idiot on the internet, was that what matters is the message that Larry puts forward. I don't care how many people he's got following him. I don't judge him by that at all. I don't judge anybody on the internet by that. If you look at my following, I've got this. Why? Cancel culture. I don't get along with people. I'm a little bit too frank and honest. I don't say things the right way, in a politically nice way. I'm not a humble person, right? I'm humble in most everything because I have to be. I don't know how to do much with other than train dogs, right? Am I the world's best? No, you know. But so the reason I'm talking about this and I'm yakking at the screen about it is because it touched me, knowing what Larry's going through. I mean, the pain of a situation like he's going through for somebody that loves dogs and that's all they eat, breathe, and sleep, and that's what their whole message in life is all about, and where he's at has nothing to do with his popularity. What really matters is he's a good person. His message is pure, right? What he's putting forward on the internet, that's why he's got that popularity, right? And then he's just lucky enough to be able to have it click, and whatever makes it happen. I mean, look at Oscar Moore. I mean, it's whatever makes it happen. It's who you are as a person. There's a lot more involved in it than just the jealousies and the bullshit that happens on the internet. Right? It just blows my mind. So bottom line is, I am a nobody, right? But at the same time, I've been around for a lot of years and I know everybody, right? And I'm not after titles. I'm not after awards and all that. I'm out to get an environment that feeds my soul as far as what I want to do in dog training and what I want to do in building something that matters to me as far as what I put together. So I'm way out here in the boonies. The reason I'm out here in the boonies is because I don't have to deal with a lot of the other things. A lot of these dog trainers are in the city. They're stacking dogs in crates. They've got this or that, and it is what it is. But I hate the city. I hate the driving. I hate the stress. I'm so much more happy being way out here in the boonies and being out in the environment that I'm in. And people can judge me all they want to because I live in a trailer. But I've got so much peace of mind in regards to not dealing with the bullshit than most people. You know, I've got my dogs. I got Mother Nature. I'm out here in the beautiful country. And there's hardship involved. You know, to get anywhere, I've got to drive 30, 45 minutes to even get to some of the stuff that I need for my training as far as environmental. People, places, and things, it takes me a lot more work. But come on, let's go. Come on, Rox. Buddy, with me. Good boy, good. Let's go. Good dogs, yay. Yeah, so I just thought I'd chime in and have a kind of a yak session. Fly by the seat of my pants as always and try to get some points across. But reality and truth is that our profession is always evolving, it's always changing, and all this stuff happens. But reality and truth, it's always a human factor that gets in our way, you know? It's the jealousies, it's the spite. There's another gentleman that's been around for a lot of years. Everybody knows him in the LA area. He's into shepherds. He's got a working dog field that everybody's rented and used for years, right? And he just put himself forward to get involved with some of the breed stuff going on. He's going after one of the titles. I don't even know what it is, whatever. But it's shepherds, German shepherds. We all know who he is, right? And then out of these, here comes an anonymous person. Oh, I don't know how you said this. I don't know. And then, why do you need to do that? Why do you need to be such a jerk that you need, and because it's anonymous, ooh, that makes it even more. Now you go ahead and puke your guts out, right? But all it shows is your jealousy, right? And then you get people that come in and start supporting the gentleman towards what he's going after. Can't think of the title he's after. I just read the thread this morning. I know who he is, and I've got all the world of respect for him. Why? He's been here for years, 20, 30 years. If you can't say that this man is an active part of our community in the dog world and that he deserves, and then he's putting himself out there. You know the politics he's going to have to do the paperwork and all the crap he's got to deal with to carry that load. Dude, we need people. We need people to promote the quality of our profession, whether it's breeding or if it's, you know, this is about dog shows, you know, showing class of German shepherds and things. But I mean, I don't know why people have to be the way they are. Why do they have to be so vicious and cruel to each other and the jealousy and the bullshit, you know? But all I can say is we need to learn to shut those sort of people down. That anonymous, I wish I knew who it was that posted that in a negative context towards what he was putting forward. But there's no, what it comes back to, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Now, I'm one to preach, right? But you never notice me saying any names. People know who I'm talking about because they put the pieces together and they know what's going on, right? But I'll do things like that all the time. There was a gentleman that came up a while back, a younger guy that's building his business out, and he was putting something forward towards police dogs and wanting to go after the police dog. And I privately called him and privately had a conversation, never mentioned who his name was. He was very offended, very mad, and it's still a rift in our relationship that we didn't even have really a really true relationship. You know, he should have taken it on the chin and just not worried about it, but he got butt hurt. And but he's still out there doing his thing. But see, now I'm in a certain class. I always look at people that always see all the scuttlebutt, all the bullshit in the pet world, in working dog circles, and all the shit that's talked about me. I know it goes on because that's the nature of the beast that we're talking about, right? But at the same time, these people don't know who the hell I am. They don't know me. They think they know me. They judge me by the rumors and the crap that goes through the grapevine and all the crap, but they don't know who the hell I am, right? Just blows my mind. Just blows my mind. Human nature. So I guess if I was to try to give you a message, I just got into a video this morning talking from an anthropologist, a professor at one of the colleges, talking about human nature and everything. It was strength to strength. I'm trying to think of the guy's name, but it's on Audible. It's a good book. I'm starting to listen to it. But he's being interviewed by another gentleman online, and I sent this out to a couple friends of mine so that they can look at. You know, it basically is covering the human nature in life. You know, you get up in life and you start to go through life, and you want to kill the world as a young person. You want to kill the world and accomplish something, and there's a lot of things that drive you. and chasing your idols. Money, power, fame, and these things that really are what we're after, right? And it's a very interesting subject to me because I'm 62, 63 years age, and I am, this is what the book's all about, is the dwindling of life as you go towards the end, and you get towards the end of your life, you're not as relative anymore. Your expertise, your abilities dwindle because your age, so you don't have the fast reaction speeds anymore. Your brain doesn't work the same way, and what you had as a kid is starting to dwindle. Now, do I feel that in myself? Not really. I mean, I've got a lot of knowledge behind me, so those things aren't dwindling as far as my skills and my skill base, but it's part of life, right? It's part of life and what we go through, you know. One of the young bucks was talking about, somebody was, and it's probably me he's talking about. There's always roundabout in the generalization that we do when we make comments, you know. And he was talking about somebody that was upset and saying this and saying that because they were losing their relevancy in life. That's life. We all go through that, right? But try not to be that beast on the internet that's reacting out of jealousy, greed, spite, all those things that are negativity. And when you react that way, especially online, people see it, they sense it, you know. So, you know, we're all human, guys. We all go through the evolution of birth, going through life, middle school, high school, college, getting married. These are all the parts of your life that make you who you are, and how you handle it and what you're chasing, that idol that you're chasing. You're chasing money, you're chasing power, you're chasing fame. I can't say I'm immune to any of these things, right? Can't say I'm immune to any of it, right? I'm human just like anybody else. But that's what drives you, you know? So in our community, as far as professional dog trainers, anybody that's out there listening to this, realize who you are and look at yourself a little more, right? And realize that these things are the bane of our environment, of the professional dog training field, until we get a code of ethics and we get some things that are a little bit more solidified. You know, lawyers, doctors, and things don't face a lot of the stuff that we do in the dog training community, because dog trainers can just hang up a shingle and go poof there and start building their castle, right, wrong, or indifferent. They're either going to fail, or they're going to succeed, or they're going to be somebody that's a model for our profession, right? Somebody like Oscar Mora, that's what I look at him. That's where my respect is with him, because I look at him as being a positive influence on our industry, and how he carries himself and what he does and what he puts forward. And it's not all good. I see through some of it, but at the same time, it is what it is, right? You can't stop people from trying to build their castle. You know, I had my old boss when I was in Oakland. It was a training firm by the name of ProTrain, still up in the San Diego area. But at the same time, it's not what it was when I went through it. When I started, he was just starting to build that castle. And then when I left, they ended up going to 5 different pet stores. They had a huge facility in the Bay Area. Everybody knew who ProTrain was. And they were specializing in protection training and dog training overall. But they were a leading force in the dog training community way back then in the Bay Area. So that was my boss. And then I saw him a while back, maybe a few years ago. And we talked, and he goes, "Mark, I look back at that time. And we did what we wanted to do, we accomplished," but he looks back and he says it was such a pain in the ass, because he's got one house now with he's got still a dog training school. They call him the dog man. He's well known, but he's reaching that waning in life, right? As we all go through that evolution of life in general. You know, the flower blooms, buds, blooms, starts to wither and die. None of us are going to be able to avoid this part of life, that evolution of life overall, right? None of us. So he looked at me and goes, "Mark, we did all these things, got pictures all over the wall. The training field was right by the Coliseum. As you came around those freeways, you could look down, and he had it all built out, and that's what you were looking at, was their training field right down below. Thousands of people go by it every day and got to see that, right? I don't think it's there anymore, but it was, you know, probably special. I didn't get to see it, but I know where it was at. I was on San Pablo Avenue when they first started their first training firm, and the gentleman that owned it was a seeing eye dog trainer from San Rafael, along with 4 or 5 other partners that went in together to build out that facility and to do that. And I was one of the first guinea pigs to start going through what he was putting together for a training school, right? all the things, the DHLPP, diphtheria, hepatitis, leptospirosis, parvovirus. How can I say that? Because this was some of the things that he was feeding me as I went to learn the profession, right? And that's why I'm so adamant about the young kids going out and going to an apprenticeship, right? Not just get a certificate at a school. You know, there's a couple online schools now that are bragging like they're all that, and they're online. Get your certificate. I look at it and have a little bit of a negative attitude about that. But that's the modern world we're moving into, you know, online school and online certification and all that. It is what it is. You can't avoid it. But like I said, and I've said before, it doesn't stop anything. Get that certificate and go out and work for somebody for a couple of years and apprentice under them. And so you learn all the ins and outs about the business, the day-to-day parts of things, animal husbandry, answering the phone, doing the books, all the things you need to learn in a very physical way. Even though you got a certificate, turns out you get an online. How much value does that online certificate have, right? You learn by doing, guys, a lot more than you do by going to school. A lot of people, you went through, back in the 70s when I came up, I had a decision to make. Am I going to go to college, or am I going to go out and learn it through life's lessons? Well, I chose to learn it through life's lessons. You know, instead of going to college and partying and having such a good time for 4 or 5 years and then going out and starting your career, I went the other way. Well, we didn't have colleges for dog training. We have some good schools though. You got Michael Ellis, you got some good Tom Rose. I mean, there's some good schools out there. But at the same time, you know, how are you going to approach getting your career and doing that? So, all right, I'll let you guys go. So yeah, but that was what he was telling me when I had that discussion with him. Was bottom line, he looks back at it and he wished he didn't do it because all the headaches, you know, the permits and all the trying to carry the payroll, and the more you build up, the more you got to hold up, right? So you build it up, now it's on your shoulders, and now and that's a lot of stress. You know, is it worth it? You hear my point? So it is what it is. I mean, you guys can do anything you want to do. I see some good facilities coming out with some of the same ideas I've had for years that I've never accomplished that look pretty cool in the industry, you know. So it's interesting how you build out and what image do you want to have and what idol are you chasing, right? When it really gets down to it, what are you chasing? Are you chasing fame? Are you chasing money? You know, what is it that drives you? But it all comes back to the human psyche, no matter what you do, all right? All right, guys, I'll let you go. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, out here walking around property, letting the dogs have exercise. I don't even know where they went to. They're out here running around somewhere. Oh, they're just following me, huh? I yak on the screen, huh? They're just walking around property with me, huh, guys? I didn't even know where they went. I was paying attention more to the video than I was that, and my crows and the beauty of the desert. Have a good day, guys. Happy New Year. So talk to you later. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, signing off. Yak on the screen as always.